Extravaganza until we find a better name. That's the official name of the show, just because that's what we like to do. It's Papa Bears. It's good. Papa Bears over there behind the controls as always. And today in studio we have the one and only Realtor Wade Westrick right here in studio. We're going to talk a little real estate. We're going to talk a little football. We're going to talk a little weather. We'll talk, who knows, we'll talk all kinds of fun stuff. We'll talk about something. Also, we may have a first attempt at a video call-in here a little bit. We will we'll trudge through that as best we can. We're learning. And we'll talk a little bit about Brett's First Responders, which is a great foundation. It's very near and dear to the heart. As well as we may talk a little bit about a current event story involving an animal torture case in Granite City. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on. First things first, how's the weather outside today? It's not quite frightful, but guess what? It's going to be frightful again. Every time I do this show, it seems that the weather comes in the next day. So we'll talk more about that. We'll give you your headlight warning and all that kind of fun stuff here in a bit. In the meantime, let's welcome in Mr. Wade. Wade, how are you this fine morning?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. This is fun and exciting, and I'm very happy to be here.
Excellent. You are on video, too.
That's right.
So you know, some people might be watching you. Wave to them. Wave to the people. Say hi to the people.
You know, this was a radio show, and my father always said I had a face for radio, so I don't know about the whole video thing.
Your father and my mother must have talked
a
lot, because she said that as well, and then when she found out it was video, that it was kind of funny that way. Hey, there he is.
What is it? Face for radio and a voice for silent film.
Exactly. You got that correct, my friend. So let's talk a little bit about your background, my friend.
Absolutely. That's
well,
kind of nice.
Yeah. See, it's going to be a little delayed, but you'll be able to see.
Right.
You know, so you'll know ahead of time if you did something silly. You know, and you just kidding.
Very good.
So you were a West Coast boy.
I am. I was born and raised on the West Coast. Did a tiny stint in Oklahoma City when I was very, very young. Funny story, I learned to talk there. And luckily moved back to California when I was about four and a half. So lost the accent as I grew up, but you get me around a Southerner and it instantaneously pops back. So grew up on the West Coast and was in the hotel industry for forever, and lived in Portland, Oregon, and was transferred out here to work at the beautiful Westin in St. Louis, right next to the ballpark, and spent 5-6 fantastic years there. And of course, as I like to tell the story, I came to St. Louis like everyone else does, kicking and screaming. I didn't want to come here. I'd only knew of what I'd heard, and it just didn't seem like a place that would be a good fit. But much to my surprise and joy, I just fell in love with living here. And my company did transfer me away for a while. I came back in 2013 with no job contract, just unemployed.
Here I come.
I'm moving back. I'm going to move back to St. Louis. I enjoyed living there more than anywhere else. I had no family here, no bond other than friends, but just decided that St. Louis was the place for me. And shortly thereafter, met my wife. And the rest
went downhill for
her.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
hi, Katie.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Katie. But never looked back, and I think that's why I went. One of the reasons why I went to real estate. It was this place meant so much to me that I decided that I know it means a lot to other people, and when people are moving in, especially from out of town, it's all about asking them the exploratory questions of what did you like about the last place you lived, and that's how you're going to find out. Does somebody want to be in the city? Does somebody want to be out in the suburbs? Does somebody want where is it? And there's actually, I'll throw a quick shout out. There's a company here called St. Louis Transplants, ran by my buddy Anthony Bartlett, that specializes in that. They work with corporations to do what we really can't. We can't steer people. We can't say you should live here.
Right,
you should live there.
exactly.
We ask the questions, get the answers, and then we could say, well, go look at this area and drive around and explore it and see what you think, because it sounds kind of like what you were talking about.
No, I think it matters a lot. Price range and,
of course,
amenities that are close by. I think all those kinds of things.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's all very, very important. And
he's an ethical realtor too. He actually does things the right way. He doesn't point certain directions and stuff, right?
Me or
You.
Yes,
You.
yes,
I was a compliment
I-
for you
thank
because
you.
I know
I'm
of
not
some
used to that.
I know of some that don't do that.
Well,
So
it's
glad you brought
highly,
that up.
it is highly illegal. Fair housing prohibits any steering, and which is unfortunate. And if you're using a realtor and you ask them to, hey, we want to live in a safe neighborhood, hopefully they can't answer that question.
Right.
They can't say what is safe and what is not. I will point people to, here's a lot of websites that give you crime statistics. Google, you can search crime statistics on a map. There's a lot of great tools out there, but it just like schools and crime, we're not authorized to say what is safe and what is not safe. It is illegal.
Absolutely. Here's your links. Here you go. Do your research on that yourself.
Exactly.
Well, we just talked, and last week we were at lunch. So Wade and Papa Bear and I all know each other through the Northwest Chamber of Commerce, which gets a lot of shout outs on here. But you know what? Hey, Belleville, O'Fallon, the other chambers I'm in, O'Fallon, That's O'Fallon, not O'Fallon.
O'Fallon?
Yeah, O'Fallon. Hey, but Mo Fallon, too. You want to come on, you just got to get a hold of me. That's just it. See, I see these Northwest Chamber people. That's how they get to come on here.
Yeah, well, the signal will make it over to...
It does. It does cross the river, believe it or not. We're all about crossing rivers here, aren't we, Papa Bear?
Absolutely.
Some people, don't be afraid to cross those rivers. They won't hurt you. Those bridges have
Mine's
been
the
there.
Merrimack.
Yeah, so he's crossing the Merrimack. I cross the
When the bridge is open.
because it's going to rain.
All I want to do is I'm not open.
The way it's raining now, you never know what could happen.
Yeah.
So let's talk. We obviously your main business is real estate. So one of the things that you were just talking about right now is last week when we were at lunch together is that if somebody's looking to sell their house this spring, this is the time they need to actually begin that process. You can't wait till April because of. This is my turn. You like the segue?
That was
You
the
like
segue.
that?
That was beautiful. That was subtle. So subtle. Everybody's circumstances are a little bit different. There are hey, we need to sell our house tomorrow, and I run into that a lot too. Or I can get a house on the market in a handful of days with professional photos and the whole 9 yards. Think of it like landing an airplane. The longer the runway, the easier it is to land or to take off.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that I will get. I call it nickels for dollars. You can spend. A lot of people want to spend dollars in order to make nickels. Oh, we're going to sell our house, but we're going to remodel our kitchen first. Well, why are you going to spend $10,000 to make $5,000?
Right.
Unless you're going to live in a house for, if you're going to remodel your kitchen, and this is something else that I'll quickly segue. If you are thinking that your house needs significant updates and you're going to be selling it in the next 5 or 6 years, do those updates now. A remodeled kitchen is a good 5 to 10 year update. Same with bathrooms.
Right.
So you're not going to get all your money.
Appreciate right out of the parking lot. Right.
So if you spend $10 grand redoing your kitchen right now, and that only brought you $5,000 at the closing table, well, it's easier to absorb that if you got to enjoy your kitchen for 5 years.
That makes sense.
So if you're going to do significant changes to your house, do them well in advance of selling it. The only thing you should ever really change is something that is broken. If you really have something in disrepair, it's going to prevent your house from selling, so you might as well fix it. Even if you don't get the money, it takes the days off the market.
Right.
Exactly. But more importantly, going back to the original question, if you wanted a house on the market April 1st, it's February 11th right now.
How is it February 11th?
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, and that's it. Time sneaks up on you. So if I go on a listing appointment, and I do this quite often, I'll go on a listing appointment and I'll walk to the people's house, and they live in their homes. They have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff. And it's just two of us. My wife and I live in a very large house, and there's only two of us, and the place is packed.
Right.
And it's like, if we needed to sell our house, we would end up spending at least a week packing up stuff that we don't need on a daily basis and squirreling it away someplace.
Right.
Well, and that's just two of us. Most people are 3 kids that are very active and, and pets and all these things, and they're going to need a lot more time to declutter.
Oh, absolutely.
Get stuff into storage if they need to. and then start working on the house. And, spend a lot of time training their kids not to destroy the place every day. When
Don't touch that again.
Because, you turn your home into a hotel room. That's what I always tell people, This is a nice thing for being in hotels. Turn your home into a hotel room. Because when you walk into a hotel room, you don't want to know that anyone was ever there. Every night of the year in a good hotel, somebody is staying in these rooms.
Right.
But when you walk into that room, no one's ever been in there.
Oh, very true.
That's the way it should look. It should look like nobody's ever. You're the first person to ever stay in that room. That's the way it should look. So whenever your house is on the market and people are coming through your front door to look at it, they don't want to look at your house. They want to look at their future house. So again, that whole timing, getting plus the springtime, you get your blooms, you're getting your flowers, you're going to get So it is nice to have as much runway as possible.
Nice, very nice, very nice. Yeah, the giggle back there from the back room. That's Jen in the house. She's back in there, and her and I were in a hotel this weekend. We won't mention any names or locations, but we didn't have hot water on Saturday.
It's extra
in the whole hotel. Yeah, apparently we didn't pay the extra fee, so we took the bath in the stream thing to try and Anyway, it was just kind of a funny thought that
You want to throw the hotel down the river?
No. I'm gonna be nice. We won't do that. I won't even say where.
Did they take care of you?
It was a
no.
I don't want to say they didn't take care of us. It was just that the problem was that the two poor girls were behind the front desk. They're newbies.
They didn't know what to do with it.
Oh, they didn't know what to do, and then it started out as one room, and they're like, well, can you come down here and get a set of keys for a different room, thinking it was just our room that had the problem, which is, I was kind of like, okay, it's one room. No, not really, but we tried. It didn't really work out very well, but it was very cold bathing. But we did get back. It was fixed when we got back later that evening.
Oh, that's good. Oh,
we took the late night shower just in case overnight it broke again.
Boilers will go down once in a while.
It was an older hotel, and whatever. It's we go out most time when we're somewhere. I mean, we were there for business purposes, but we don't usually. You know what? As long as there's no bugs crawling around and it's decent, I'm pretty cool with. I'm never in a hotel room anyway, so it is what it is. It is what it is.
Did you guys go anyplace fun?
Oh, we were glow bingoing.
For what?
Glow bingoing.
So glow bingoing.
Yes,
oh, gotcha.
Yes, for the Vermilion County Animal Control.
Yes, glow bingoing is a thing.
I'm a verb.
You are a verb.
I am a verb. I'm a verb and an adverb too.
I always thought of you as more of an expletive.
Well, that is very, very true as well. Totally understandable and accepted. I understand.
There you go. It's just that everyone's always saying them when they're around you.
Well, I don't blame them, honestly.
And at you. Yeah.
And at me, and behind me, and any other direction that we're going. Man, the signal must be slowed down by ice today. No, it's not. It's not our signal going out.
No,
it's just my signal coming through.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're good.
It's
just me trying to look into it. It's not. It's not cooperating very well. We can always go this direction if we need be.
So speaking of preparing a home for sale, I think one of the most important things is the professional photography, and in a lot of cases that would actually involve maybe doing something more of a 3D mapping of the house. And if only we knew
someone who did that. Wait a minute.
Hey, Kurt, does Envelop do something like
Envelop does, in fact, do.
Tell me more.
Tell you more. We create 3D virtual tours using the Matterport platform, the premier Matterport service provider here in the St. Louis area and beyond.
Yeah.
Nice segue back. I like it.
Yeah, none of those lousy platforms.
No, those lousy platforms or other providers or anything like that. Just that's the only one you should use.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
And you should only use Envelop. It's not even about having the Matterport.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's about using Envelop.
I mean, the guys that run that place. Steven was just in here a couple weeks ago with me. Chris is out. Chris also does commercial photography, so he's had a very big project going on. He's actually teaching classes now, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
That's kind of. Oh, sorry. I'm getting a text from Todd just because he's like, it's constant going. Do you feel this is the cool thing? Speaking, you're Wade, which isn't Wayne,
right?
I keep alluding to this. Like, for those of you that aren't old enough to remember it, This is like Wayne's World. It's like we're broadcasting from the basement in here. It's just so much fun for me. I love this. It's like,
Does that make me Garth?
I think
that-
for the time being,
Jeez.
possibly. Well, it could be worse. You could be Tia Carrera. So,
Yeah.
you wouldn't look good that
No,
good in that
I
outfit,
know.
so we'll
you
just, By the way, Wade's wife does HR work, and sometimes that's people like me are what makes her job in existence. So anyway,
there is that.
There is that. So one of the things we need to do for Wade is, if you do know of anybody getting ready to buy or sell a house, contact him.
Yeah.
And we get those bigger properties and stuff like that he has to list. Then we can do some virtual tours of those properties. Correct?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
See?
And I think is something for the listeners, and this is generic. This isn't just about me, although you call me because I'm the best.
Well, of course.
It very important. Again, if you are considering selling your home, there's a couple things I tell people to do, even if they're not considering selling their home. If you know anyone with a decent camera. Always in the springtime when your home's looking the best, always just get a few outside shots each year. They need to be contemporary in order for them to go on the MLS. They can't be 10-year-old photos.
Well, no, right.
But just get a couple of shots of the outside of your house. So that way, if something happens, because you never know when life is going to throw you a curve.
Right, exactly.
And you need to list your house in the middle of winter. Your photos are going to look better because the interior shots can be done any time of the year. It doesn't matter. But the exterior are the ones. So especially just a couple of nice shots of the front of your house when it's looking the best. That's always a key thing. Just have in your back pocket.
So you shouldn't use the Polaroids that you took.
Don't use the
in,
Polaroids
84.
from the from when you're on your big wheel in 1983. But and don't use a phone. Actually use a camera with a lens. It's even though the cameras are becoming pretty stellar.
Well, yeah.
And I guess something's better than nothing.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I would probably rather do photography in the winter and forgo the nice looking full trees and we can always add a blue sky.
Oh, absolutely.
In the background, things like that. But always have that ready to go. And then and if you rent. And I tell this to people all the time. If you're a renter and you have absolutely no desire to buy a home, you don't think you're going to be in the area very long, or you think it's too much responsibility. If you think it's too much responsibility, it's always nice to have a conversation because it's really not. You're a homeowner. There's stuff you
and
gotta
I
do.
have no sense of responsibility whatsoever.
Well, there's that.
Pipe that out there.
But people talk about it's ridiculously expensive. Well, when you're paying rent. Not only are you paying somebody else's mortgage, taxes, and insurance, you're paying for the repairs. People say, well, I don't want to have to pay to fix things. Well, who do you think's paying the landlord to fix things?
You're essentially paying ahead of time.
And exactly. And so you're ongoing there, and the landlord is making a profit.
Yes, of course.
Hopefully.
We're all in business to make money.
Right,
We're not in
exactly.
business to
So-
give things away.
So when you're paying that rent, the landlord's putting a healthy percentage of that in their own pocket.
Right.
And that's where the margin is. And there's things that can go wrong, but houses generally don't break that badly.
No, everything comes at once.
Yeah, and if
That's
you right. But if you budget your finances correctly, if you're the house payment for the equivalent that you're renting should always be significantly less. I mean, like $300, $400, $500 a month less, depending. If you're, if you rented a house that was valued at $200,000, you're going to be paying anywhere between $1,800 and $2,000 a month.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For rent.
For rent, right?
Whereas opposed to your mortgage is probably in the $1,300 range.
Unless you live in Millstadt, then taxes are much higher. But
well, you could be
There-
paying
that's-
higher taxes,
that's,
but
that's
again,
all.
you're a lot of that stuff is tax deductible.
well, it's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Especially when
you
you're
have-
paying the interest on your loan early, you get to deduct a ton of that as far as tax goes.
And there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. What people really go, I don't have the money to buy a house. And I say this with caution because we don't want to run into another 2007.
No,
2006.
definitely not. Right.
But there are, and people are vetted out much, much better than they were. But there are opportunities for many, many people to buy homes with absolutely no money down.
Okay.
It's a combination of using a seller's credit at close, which is extremely common, and that is when in the contract the seller provides money towards closing costs.
Okay.
So your prepaid inspections, your taxes, your insurance, your title fees, all that stuff that you have to pay when you buy a house, which depending on the price can change dramatically, but it's usually around $4,000. Your loan fee, your loan application fees,
absolutely.
appraisal, stuff like that. So you're looking at like $3-4 grand. You can actually get the seller to cover that for you, and it becomes part of your loan, so to speak. So it's all, and it's very legal. It's very above board. It's done.
Basically, you're increasing the cost of the house. You're just increasing your loan.
Yeah, so let's say
money kind of gets. Yeah.
Let's say you pay $100,000 for the house. Well, maybe you'll pay $103,000 for the house and get a $3,000 credit close. The seller's getting the $100,000. You're getting the benefit of the $103,000, which you can use for other stuff.
Right,
so you have that. You also have through MHDC and other programs, forgivable loans, grants. All these things that would actually allow you to. It's free money to buy a house. People, the government likes home ownership.
Well, they do. They do.
And so there's a lot of circumstances, and it's amazing that some of the opportunities I've had to, as much as I'd love to sell the $500,000 house,
No to anyone who has a $500,000
right,
house
exactly.
you're going to sell. I know a realtor who's looking to sell it for you.
There's a tremendous amount of satisfaction when I help somebody who's a first-time home buyer, especially if they're older, and just never thought that home ownership would be something they would realize. But to be able to help somebody, just walking them through the process and saying, this is all you have to do, and it's not a scam. There's no, you're not paying out money for these classes. You have to do these little classes with MHDC, but they don't charge you for those. But there's, there are these organizations out there that are claiming to help people with this stuff, and I think some are valid and some are very not so much. And you have to be very careful. Yeah. But if you talk to a realtor or you talk to a reputable lender, they're going to walk you through this stuff. And there's a lot of opportunity for people who really feel that they can't own a home, that actually they can own a home. And again, with the savings that they'll actually have month over month, year over year, compared to paying rent, that's part of, managing your wealth and, and actually building retirement, building finances for your future, building equity.
Right.
You own it, you're building equity in it. And you could take that equity out if you need money for things like college or, anything else.
Tell you something, too, I guess, that you can help somebody with, you bring up equity and stuff like that, is if somebody does need to do those upgrades or something needs to be redone in a home prior to it being sold, that would be something in those conversations you have with them, that if somebody does have equity built up, that they could take out to do that remodel or whatever needs to be, as far as if that's the right choice for them to do at that time versus selling the house. So like you were saying earlier, what do you gain by the money you put in?
Yeah.
If you're going to put $10,000 in and only gain $5,000, you're losing $5,000.
Absolutely.
If you're going to put $5,000 in to gain $10,000, then
Yeah.
you're gaining $5,000. So that's some of those things that I know in our conversations we've had that you like to talk to people about, even if they're not getting ready to sell right this moment, but it's something they're looking forward to in the future.
Right.
That's something they need to look at.
Well, and for me, it's that advice. If somebody takes my advice and goes out and uses anyone else, that's still healthy for the housing market. True. So what's good for the housing market is good for me.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of things people can do. The two biggest things that most people can do to sell their home, and it's funny, I get a lot of arguments, so I'm going to warn everybody out there, never argue with a realtor when they tell you what color to paint your house.
Yeah.
You're not painting it for you, you're painting it for the general public.
Exactly, very true.
But painting, interior paint, and flooring. And, not expensive flooring. But if your carpet's shot, just have someone throw in cheap carpet. It doesn't last that long, but it's still better than whatever you had.
Most of it's brand new and doesn't smell like your dog or
Right,
your kid or
exactly.
your husband or whatever the case may be. It's definitely a bonus. So let's talk about flooring. So, because carpet is really, where is carpet in the world these days? Because I'm like, we have no carpet in our house. We got rid of it all.
Yeah.
Because we deal with dogs, which we're leading into here in a little while.
Right.
As far as all dogs and stuff like that we've always had pups around. We've done rescue throughout our days and stuff like that. So carpet doesn't work well with dogs.
Are you guys hardwood or are you?
Depends on the area. Some's linoleum, some is hardwood.
Okay.
I've been looking into this new. What is it? It's that ceramic that looks like wood. Have you seen that stuff?
Well, there's ceramic that looks like wood. There's a lot of engineered products. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, in new construction, I do new construction stuff as well. By the way, quick piece of advice to everyone. I'm running into this more often. Buying a home from a builder, use a realtor.
Okay.
Always use a realtor. Buying a home is like buying a car. You know, the person selling you that home, and I'm not dissing on the home builders. You need home builders,
Right,
and
sure.
there's a lot of very good home builders, but they're building the house, they're selling the house. Their interest is in them.
Right. Well,
You know,
exactly.
that's their
Right.
priority is to get as much money as possible, and every time I talk to somebody who uses a realtor to buy a house from a builder, they save money over the people who buy them directly from the builder.
Right.
Because the realtors know the actual values.
Oh, exactly.
And so they're better negotiators.
Well, it's not that they're doing anything wrong. I mean, you go anywhere,
No,
a car or whatever.
yeah.
Hey, this is worth $200,000. You go, I'll give you $185.
Right.
And then you start the process there.
Yeah.
You have somebody knows what the heck's going on.
I mean, when we bought a car last year, and if I had walked up to the dealership and said, "Well, we'll just pay you full price," and the salesman's not going to argue with me.
Yeah, that would be silly.
And it's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just why would they argue with me? So anyway,
Exactly.
A little segue there with flooring. The builders are actually charging more for some of the new engineered flooring products than they are for 1 3/4 inch oak.
Really?
Because it doesn't scratch. It's like pet proof. All you do is just get to entertain yourself by, if you don't put down carpet or rugs, just get to entertain yourself watching your dogs
slide by.
Yeah, looking at you like, what kind of jerk puts me in a house
What
with
puts me in this with no traction? Exactly. Yeah, that was something I was just kind of curious about more than anything. Is just how the trends develop and how trends change throughout the course of time.
I live in the city, and if you have carpet in a house in the city, it's really going to look bad at this point. Upstairs, it's okay.
Right.
It's, preferably, I would say wood throughout, but if you've got, you got a house where the pine, usually the second floor would be pine. And in fact, originally the first floor would either be a pine or an ash or a cypress. But if they're not in good shape, restoring those can be extremely
very
expensive.
Very time.
So carpet on the second and third floor, like our third floor is carpeted.
Yeah.
Our second floor is wood. And our first floor is wood, of course.
Right.
But
if you're going to restore your own wood flooring, I suggest YouTube or just videoing that so that it could be put on YouTube. So as you're riding through the house on the sander and spinning you around.
If you want to restore your own wood floors for your own use, go ahead. If somebody's selling their house and they say we're going to redo our floors, I hire somebody.
Yeah.
Hire somebody, because even if you save $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever you save doing it yourself, it's going to cost you at the end of the line. Because if you've never done it before, it is a very highly skilled.
Oh, it definitely is.
Thing to be doing.
Oh yeah. For sure. It's that.
Even painting. If you really don't know how to paint properly, hire somebody, because you're going to make your house look worse than.
Right. And if you're going to try to do it, do the painting before you replace the floors.
Yeah. It's always top down.
It's top down.
Yeah. And be careful with this stuff. Especially if you're in an older home. 1978, 77, 78 is when they outlawed lead. So if your house is older than 1978, there's a really high chance you've got lead. It should be, removed. It should be removed properly. Most people just encapsulate it, paint right over the top of it, and that's fine if you're painting. But if you're starting to dig into walls and dig into electrical and duct work and things like that, keep in mind asbestos products were used
Well, right up until about the same time.
No, even much later. Yeah, through the 80s,
yeah.
you would find asbestos. And I learned this actually kind of recently, that popcorn ceiling contains asbestos. Because you see, do-it-yourself all over the place. Because everyone goes, oh, we're going to get rid of the popcorn ceilings. Well, that's great. The problem is it refracts asbestos.
Right.
And you don't want to be breathing that.
No, you definitely don't want to breathe that stuff. It's not good for you.
So, yeah, you got asbestos, you've got lead, so you want to be careful when you're doing this work, and sometimes it's just better to leave it to the pros.
Oh, I would say definitely. I mean, asbestos is a really good product. It works really, really well. It just gets in your lungs and never leaves, and eventually will
you don't want to
end your life sooner than what it should have been.
Exactly.
So you definitely don't want to do that stuff on your own at all. That's for sure. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's segue a little further from.
No.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's just Jen. She's just shooting times and stuff like that. We're letting Wade talk. It's okay.
Oh, did my time was up?
She didn't say your time was up.
I think she did.
She said it's.
I think she did. Yes, this guy's killing us.
We're over half done. That's all.
Oh, okay.
We're over half done. That's all.
Gotcha.
No big deal.
Well, we need to bring in somebody else.
I'm just waiting to hear back from him.
Oh, okay.
He had a phone call.
Well, we can talk about whatever he needed to talk about, and I will pretend to be an authority if need.
There you go.
You do that a lot.
I do.
Okay, sorry.
No,
That was a little
right.
dead air time there.
Yeah.
That was me. This is how this works. We're waiting for Tia Carrera to call in. That's what we're doing. She's gonna bring the snake. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit while I'm just taking a break here, because Wade is actually on the committee with me and past chair of the Northwest Chamber Casino Night that is coming up here in March.
Yes,
March 6th, Friday night. If anybody is wanting to come out and have a great time with friends and family, send a message in here to me. Send it on that Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio Facebook page. We can get you all those details. We're going to have Melanie on here in the next week or so. She's going to just call in. If not, I'll drag her in the studio. We'll see how it all works out. She's executive director. And basically, you pay $50, and that gets you food. And drink, and casino cash. So you get $10,000 in play money to play the casino games that are out there. Plus, if you bring canned food items. Items is goods is two different words. Just
sure.
Items is not a real word. Yeah, items is not a real word. Items, for each one of those, you can get an extra $1,000 in casino cash, up to 5 of those. So that is at the Moolah Temple on Fifi Road. We'll definitely share some information.
But we'll take more than 5 cans.
Oh, we'll definitely take more than 5 cans.
Bring a case of cans. We'll give you $5,000.
$5,000 in cash.
There you go.
There's always Jello shots there, and then at the end of the night, you turn in your winnings from the casino games, and you get to get tickets to go into raffle baskets. So that is a great, great fun time. Wade and Katie were actually chairs last year, right? Yeah. Last year?
Was it last year? I think we were last year.
Was it last year?
We do so many of them.
I know. It's just,
which is so much fun.
Exactly.
I think we're cheering Harry Potter this year.
Oh, look out.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Which is very funny because neither one of you know.
Neither one of us. She's watched, I think, the first movie.
Yeah.
I've never read a Harry Potter book. I've never seen a Harry Potter movie. But the event's fantastic, and Mel and Jess just
that's
knock it out of the
That's their thing, yeah. I know nothing Harry Potter other than...
We actually make up answers.
Oh, perfect.
We will pick genres, I think, and I couldn't go last year, but Katie's table, they pick, it's established that we're going in there not to win. And so I think all the questions will come in, and I think they'll pick a theme like, all the answers to this round will be character names from John Hughes films.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Things like that.
Interesting.
And, I think they actually did something with Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, boy.
Last year. That's what they did last year. Yeah, it was the year before we did the John Hughes stuff. But
nice.
Anyway, Casino Night is absolutely a blast. And it's what Vegas means to you, which is always the best, because you'll get people walking in wearing, tattered, cut-off jean shorts, and then you'll get other people wearing full tuxedos.
Nice.
Which is great, because I lived in Vegas for a short time. My father lived there for 40 years, so I was in Vegas all the time. And I'll tell you what, you want to see a cross section of this country, there is no better convergence than the city of Las Vegas. It is everyone from everywhere doing everything.
Nice.
And I think our casino night reflects that.
I think it does. It is definitely
It
everyone
is just
from
everyone
everywhere.
having a blast, from costumes to tuxedos to.
I'm trying to convince Jen to let me go as Glow Daddy, but she keeps telling me no.
Oh, I think that's just.
And that's Vegas.
I think sometimes in a marriage you have to forego asking for permission and just try to get forgiveness down the road.
You realize Katie's probably going to listen to this at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, she'll
Okay,
listen to this.
she'll-
We have an understanding. We do have the gauntlet clause of once in a while this is just what I'm doing.
Right.
And I probably exercise that far more than I should.
Right.
But actually, I probably don't.
You're a smart man.
I'm pretty smart.
All right, Papa Bear, I have a question for you. So, we're trying to get Todd in here. So, he is on bmix.com.
VMixCall.com.
bmixcall.com. Let's try that.
That's probably the
that
problem.
could probably be
There you
the
go.
interesting.
Some reason the right URL.
Some reason the right
Helps.
URL.
It's like going to the right house, yeah.
It is. Which, by the way, you guys tucked this place back pretty good. I was.
Yeah,
Circling,
like
but-
you were circling. It's St. Matthews, right?
Yeah.
No.
St.
Greater St. Mark's.
Greater St.
Mark's.
Mark. Sorry,
Yeah.
St. Matthews. Yeah, it's not my church. They are kind enough to allow Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio to be here in their basement. That one actually came up with a link. That's kind of cool. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah,
We'll try to get Todd on
he
here.
just has to put password in.
Yes, which I sent him.
Yep.
Yep, we'll
and
see.
it's scrolling on the screen as well.
Oh, nice. We don't have to let just anybody, do we? Oh, yeah, we can let anybody in. But that's all right. We're going to try and get Todd in here to talk a little bit about Brett's first responders. While we're waiting to get that in, I do want to jump over to a segment.
About your dog situation.
Yeah,
I
we
saw
did
that
talk
posted.
a little bit about that. So, and I may even have to drag Jen in here to give me a little bit of background info as we're going along here. Basically, in Granite City, correct? Or was it Madison?
It happened in Madison.
Happened?
It wasn't in Granite.
Okay, happened in Madison, Illinois. Over the weekend it happened, correct?
You got Todd, a call coming in.
Hey, Todd's coming in. Oh, he's in. All right, cool. Basically what happened is there was a dog that was dropped off at the Madison Police Department that was suffering from severe burns.
Okay, Todd's on.
Todd's on?
Yeah, listen to him on the head.
Oh. Hello?
What's
Can
up?
you hear me?
Wait,
Hello?
am I on this?
I get you some slack.
Oh, I need all the slack I can get. Can you hear me now?
If I pull too hard, I'll disconnect everything.
Right. We'll get this figured out. This is us trial by firing. So anyway, let me just finish this story real quick. Apparently, this gentleman had had dumped lye onto a dog, burning his skin all the way down the tendons. What? Out of anger. So it wasn't like it was an accidental thing. It was totally out of anger. And essentially what happened is he's still alive. He is at the emergency hospital still. There's going to be links that we share up there. The gentleman has been arrested. Apparently he is going to lose at least the dog, that is, not the gentleman. I use gentleman loosely.
Yeah. Why do you keep calling this guy a gentleman?
Yeah, I know. He is going to be losing his eye at least, and potentially his genitals because of the burns, which is pretty sad and pretty disgusting. But there's going to be some links. Please check that out. I'll share them up there as we can, as well as the full story. Pound Pets, based out of Granite City, they are the ones that have taken on helping this dog, and the medical bills are going to be very, very high. So if you've got an extra $1 or $2 or $5 or $100, who knows? I mean, the way some people, I never get political in here, but the way somebody in certain places like throwing money around right now with advertisement. Some people have lots of money, so if you have an extra 1,000 around, please follow that link and throw some cash at Pound Pets and help them to help this poor suffering dog. All right, so Todd can see himself. He can hear me, but I can't hear him.
Okay.
So, can you see Todd? Wave at Todd. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Is Todd talking to us from a computer?
Yes, he is.
He's on his phone, I think.
Well,
I
either
don't think it's
way,
what's coming through.
Are you talking right now?
I'm getting signal from him.
Can you hear him?
You're getting audio.
How's that?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Very good.
We're playing. We're having fun. I don't hear him.
I'm getting his audio.
Yeah? I'm not.
Hey.
Am I plugged in?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You're plugged in.
I'm plugged in. I'm not hearing him though. Oh! I just heard me echoing. Echo. Ignore that.
We got a hot mic.
We got a hot mic. I don't know if it's this.
No.
Is Todd? Can we hear Todd? Try again, Todd.
I heard somebody typing.
Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd's typing. Say something. Something? We're having fun.
Are you on the phone with him?
That's in texting him.
Oh, okay.
So he's talking, you're picking up audio. I wonder if let me try something else here.
This got a. Oh, you know what? This got a mic. I'll try something real quick. Nope. Oh,
What?
there's one thing. That one's on.
Wait a minute. Hello? We're trying.
Try it again, Todd.
Can you hear me, Todd? Todd? Oh, Todd. Talk to me, Todd.
He's not on again.
Let's see if we can get him back on here. I can hear me now.
Okay, so that's probably what was wrong.
That's all right.
You didn't have your stuff on.
It's probably all my fault anyway.
Are we still
It's
broadcasting?
fine. Oh, we should still be. Yeah, we're still broadcasting because I can pull us up. I can see us there.
No,
Isn't
well,
that
right,
cool?
but that was before we shut everything off.
We're broadcasting.
Yes, we're
Okay.
broadcasting.
All right.
Well, we'll see if this works out. We'll try our best to keep this going.
Live
Live
radio.
internet
Radio.
radio.
Interwebby
Oh,
radio.
I hear something. Oh, that's Todd saying.
Okay.
Okay. He's trying to join again.
All right, Todd. That didn't happen either.
He's trying to get back in. He said he was getting hammered by the noise, so he
Yeah.
disconnected. So we're going to try this again.
Okay.
This is all fun. This is why we decided to do this on our show
That's right.
to do the guinea pigs before the other show. Speaking of that, while we're waiting for Todd, what? Oh wait, he's sending me messages. What does that say? Do we need to reconnect him, or did he get a new password, or is it the same password?
225-455-3516. I think it's the same.
Okay, yeah, so. You know what? If this all falls through, we'll try this again. But we are working here. While we're talking, let's talk about actual real shows that take place on this station.
Okay.
Besides this, you know.
Yeah.
So every Tuesday at 2 p.m. I butchered this name, and I'm going to do it again. It's
Kelch.
no, not the Kelch. The name of the show.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu with John Kelch. Ubuntu with John Kelch. I
Okay.
don't know exactly what.
What does Ubuntu mean?
I don't know. That's what
It
we.
means I am because we are.
I am because we are.
Oh.
Hey, that's kind of interesting. So that's on here at 2 o'clock. Thursdays at 12 o'clock noon is the Mona and Lisa show. I listened in the other day on that. She talks a lot about health and relationships and bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. In other words, she discusses some sexual things. They were talking about. They were here's your tidbit of the day that I picked up from the Mona and Lisa show.
Okay.
If you're not sure of size, don't go buy lingerie without your partner
Oh, okay.
for Valentine's Day or anything else
I
that's coming
understand.
up, because it can, if somebody's not very secure in themselves, you making a mistake could be a bad bad thing in your relationship.
Right.
That's kind of where she went with that. Like, you think I'm this size, or you think I'm that size. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm thinking a Victoria's Secret gift card.
she said not gift cards, though.
No?
And I'm like, why not a gift card? Everybody has gift cards these days. And then I typed in to use cursive in writing because that's like fancy and nobody does that anymore. Instead of just printing.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. So Fridays at noon is Help, Hope, and Healing with Kim Milberg. She talks a lot about personal growth and things of that nature. Friday at 3 p.m. is the Petty Roast Show with Ethereal Phillips. He's asking me what he should do. Should he try that again?
Yeah, let me give you your password.
New password coming. Okay, perfect.
856
Hold on. 856
821
821
4844.
4844. All right, I'm not sure why I was repeating that, but I could have just been typing it. So, the Petty Roast Show with Ethereal Phillips. He's a stand-up comedian.
Oh.
He is getting ready to conduct a class. Any veterans that want to learn to be a stand-up comic, it's a class. It's $10, and it's like, what is it, 10 weeks? Is that right?
It's a 12-week class.
12-week class.
I haven't started it yet.
Haven't started yet. Yeah, we're trying to build that up.
awesome.
And then at the end of that class, you get to perform out of Michael Tobin's place on
there you
O'Fallon
go.
Mo.
And, what's that? What's the name of that?
Backdoor Comedy and
Backdoor,
Events.
that's
Yes,
right,
it's
that's
in the
right,
back
yeah.
half of the tap house. Yes.
Let me give you a different website.
Okay.
It's vmix.at/6fe.
Oh my, hold on. vmix.at
slash
slash
6FEQIS.
QIS. All right. With that password or a different password?
That doesn't need a password.
That doesn't need a password. Okay.
No, everybody knows. Everybody can call in.
Everybody can call in. That's all right. Call in.
Everybody
We want
call
people
in.
to call in.
Well, it's funny. One of my favorites. I don't know if he does much stand up anymore. But speaking of comedians who are veterans, Rob Riggle, who's a Marine officer.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff. He's from. I believe he's from Kansas City. He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And he often plays a military person, but he's actually
Nice.
he's I don't know if he retired or he just did not re-up once.
Yeah.
But he was a officer in the
wow.
Marines, I believe, and very, very funny man.
Nice.
So that's it. Awesome. I think that's especially with everything that goes on with vets. Trying to channel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that through humor.
Absolutely.
Because they do talk about the great comedians were always people who had a lot of stuff
issues.
going on
Yeah.
and just had the ability to go out and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Richard Pryor, Robin Williams,
Just to name a few.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, those guys were phenomenal.
I mean, Sam Kinison had his thing
Sam
going
Kinison.
on as well.
Yeah.
But that's something big on this show too. Is actually we're pushing veterans stuff as well. What is VetNet next week, Papa Bear? Next week out at the Creve Corps American Legion behind Bristol's is VetNet Friday morning at 9 o'clock.
That's on the line if you can hear him.
Yep.
Can you hear me now?
Well, and speaking of vets, and very quickly bringing into real estate while you guys are
Yes.
doing that, the VA loan, which is available to
Any veteran?
any veteran
Yeah.
or active military, is a free loan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's not a free loan,
But, yeah.
you don't have to put it's zeroed down,
Right.
and the loan terms are very highly regulated.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you get the VA loan from, you're gonna be looking at a similar price point. They have to be within certain parameters.
Excellent.
So, so a lot of and people don't realize they think you have to maybe go to a national organization that's very famous for giving VA loans, but you
Right.
can get a VA loan from almost any lender.
Excellent.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me, Todd? Oh, Todd.
Doc?
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, I can hear him.
Hey,
There you
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Hey. Can you hear me?
I can hear you finally. That's
Woo,
a good thing.
This
Should
is
we
fun.
lead into this like we always do?
Yeah. What's going on?
Hey, how are you? So we are live here on Ferguson USA Hot Talk Radio with Todd Corvus. Obviously, Todd and I, if you haven't seen it, he's Todd, I'm Kirk, and we do the Extreme Bar Bingo Weekly Roundup each and every Wednesday on Extreme Bar Bingo on the Facebook page. we get to play around and do a lot of fun stuff with that. Reason I got Todd.
The thing that's
yeah.
the thing that's freaking me out is that you're frozen. So, you know what I'm saying? It just looks like I'm talking to a frozen human.
That's okay. We've talked about this before. I can tend to be frosty as it is.
Yeah.
You're
I see
moving
myself
from what we can
moving
tell.
a little delayed, and then you're – oh, wait, there it is.
Taken care of.
I see you moving now.
Nice.
You were frozen.
I was frozen.
All right, sorry.
Well, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, the reason I actually wanted to bring Todd on, obviously him and I have a lot of fun together. But obviously, unfortunately, last year, Todd's brother got killed in a car wreck, and he was a first responder. And between Todd and their sister Kayla and Brett's wife Alex, they've created a foundation called Brett's First Responders. And we want to get that out there and start pushing that because, Todd, you want to kind of explain a little bit about the basis of the foundation?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did is shortly after, my brother passed away tragically, we wanted to carry on his legacy, in a positive light, obviously. And, we wanted to kind of show his kids, how much he, because, unfortunately they will not know him.
Right.
We wanted to, show them how much he was able to, affect people's lives. So we set up a foundation that's 501c3 pending. And what our mission is to help families who lose a first responder not in the line of duty. So, in my brother's example, he was killed in a car accident on his way to work. Backstoppers, who's an amazing organization, does not help people in this, situation. They help people who die in the line of duty. So what we want to do is help families that are just like our family by raising money for them, with either funeral costs, child care, putting a roof on their house, hot water heater, any of those things that they might need in the immediate time frame. Because, obviously, like what we're dealing with now is there's a lot of lapse in time, especially with like courts and all that stuff, that things don't happen quick. And a lot of times people need stuff right away, even if, they might get money along the way. That's what we're doing. And, we started it on Thanksgiving. We started just a Facebook page, but we have our paperwork filing. And as of right now, we are doing a golf scramble on October 9th. There's some more details coming with that. We're doing a fundraiser with the Battlehawks, there's a couple different ways. We have GoFundMe up and things like that. But obviously, we're a very new foundation. So our first big one's definitely going to be this golf tournament that, should bring in a decent amount of money for our foundation.
Absolutely. And as far as the Battlehawks go, so for those of you that have been at the Extreme Bar Bingos and know about it, but the Battlehawks and Extreme Bar Bingos.
Hey, is this your segue?
Did you like the segue? It's kind of like
that was a good.
I still think we could have Nathan or AJ right through there on a segue, But
this is a segue. You're doing good.
I know, I'm telling you. The partnership with the Battlehawks, there is a link. So if anybody wants to buy Battlehawks tickets, when I share this out again, for whatever reason, my Facebook is not operating fast here for me to share links as we go. But when I share the podcast of this out later, we'll put that link up there. Anybody that uses the link that I share to buy Battlehawks tickets, the Battlehawks are going to donate $10 to Brett's First Responders for every ticket that's bought through there. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and
an undefeated
to go with that,
in their history, yeah.
well, hey, to go with that, buy those tickets now because they're almost sold out for the home opener.
That's awesome.
I just got off the phone with my ticket rep, and naturally, since they're almost sold out, all the cheaper tickets have sold. So right now, the cheapest ticket to get in the building is $50.
Wow. Good call.
And yeah, freaking come. And the next, the next like tier is going to be like $70. So I'm trying to tell people like, hey, if you want to use this link, make sure you buy it ASAP because obviously there's a lot of hype, especially after winning that first game.
Exactly, especially going into Dallas and winning that game. That's exciting stuff. They're going to go into
Yeah.
Houston this weekend and win another one. So I'm going to have to get. It's way too complicated for me to like put together. I think. I don't know. Can you? I don't know if I can send it to you. Can you text me that link?
It's on my Facebook. I just posted it.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull it off of there real quick. That way I can.
A little self-promotion.
Oh, I mean that's exactly what we're doing. I got that up so I could listen to that. So, beyond that, obviously the golf tournament will share information out about that as well. I do know a few kids that like to play golf. I do know a few clowns that.
I wish I was good at golf.
Yeah, you're a clown, but yes, golf, etc.
Just not hurt anyone's feelings, I like to play golf badly.
Yeah, just so nobody feels bad.
I don't want anyone to feel bad.
Corvus, Korves. He just shared that link on his Facebook page here. Yep. Yeah, so that is something that, like I said, with the whole Battlehawk segue and everything else and what we've got going on with them and everything going on with the build of the foundation, obviously we will talk more about this. We're going to work on something here because Papa Bear told me we can go on location for things with this. So we're going to work on that. Hey, this actually is working, so that's a cool thing. Can you hear him talking or you can't hear him? I can. Only through here. Gotcha. So I can hear him talking. I just has no idea what's going on in this conversation.
Talking all kinds of stuff right now.
Well, that would be perfectly okay, too. Yeah, not a big deal. But that's something that more and more as things go along, we want to get those links shared out there because obviously beyond this being a very important thing for Todd and his immediate family, the family itself is always near and dear to me, and I try to get myself adopted in with G-Man all the time. So, but
He was even at Christmas this year. He stopped by Christmas.
Yes, stopped by at Christmas time just because, But yeah, that's something that we want to make sure that everybody's aware of because, that is, I can see it being a huge organization that will be able to help a lot of people in the very, very near future. So we will get that Battlehawks link shared out there for you. We will also share the link to it's at Brett's First Responders on Facebook.
Correct. Yep.
So that's the Facebook page. There's going to be an upcoming golf tournament in October. Let's see. What else do we have going on? Well, you can tune in tomorrow on the Extreme Bar Bingo Facebook page to see.
Hey, look at that. That was quick.
Live potentially if we go live. Either that or be recorded doing the weekly roundup. It's just
I was all excited about live, and then
live,
you just took it away.
Well, we've tried it. We've done it a couple times. We've had some issues. It's all good. Nathan's working his butt off to make that all work out very well. That's why we're gonna bring Nathan out here and have Todd and I live in studio one of these days, so that Nathan can geek out on the tech end of stuff. I told him there were snowball mics, and he's like, "What? You got snowball?" He was all excited about that. So, it's kind of fun stuff. So, anything else we need to know about that immediately, Todd, or just?
I think that's it. Just obviously waiting for our paperwork to get finalized here. That's kind of the big thing right now.
Okay.
And then, once we get that going, then, we'll be rock and rolling. But it's really cool you guys have that link up on your thing. I don't know if you can see that.
For whatever reason, I'm not being able to hook in, but Papa Bear's like, yeah, it's up there. That's awesome. You can see it.
Yeah, it looks awesome from my end.
Good. That's a good thing. My end's unimportant. As long as the other end can see it, that's more important for sure. But yeah, then we'll get I'll make sure and share the GoFundMe stuff and all that out when the podcast, because this podcast will be available either later today or tomorrow. We'll get that shared out there. So obviously Todd can share it, Wade can share it, anybody else hears it wants to share it can share that as well. Other than that, holy cow! All of a sudden that hour is gone. So on behalf of myself and Papa Bear, I want to thank Wade for coming on today. I want to thank Todd for dialing in, helping us run this first little video chat experiment on here.
Absolutely.
Do what? we can show the video. You have the video? Oh, you have the dog video? Yeah, if you want to put that on there, we'll definitely show that story. Oh, did you send it to me?
All right, Kirk, I'm going to peace out.
Yeah, you peace out, and I will see you tomorrow. And thanks for coming on.
The dog.
Keep
Morgan
talking.
Young has this story from the Metro East.
See you tomorrow.
We want to warn you, some of these images are disturbing.
It's hard to say what's worse, the pictures or the story behind them.
That a grown man took out his aggressions on a 10-year-old 9-pound dog.
Deb White's organization, Pound Pets, got the Facebook message late last week.
There was a dog that had chemical poured on it, and actually so bad that it had stuck to the side of the cage that he was in.
Someone dropped the dog off here at the Madison Police Department, where White picked him up and took him to get medical help.
Some of his skin is gone all the way down to his tendons,
He'll have to get his genitals removed.
and it's a good possibility that he will lose his eye.
There's a long road to recovery now, but White and her team are working with police to tackle the other half of this problem.
The first thought is getting the animal taken care of, and then the second thought is getting the person that did it.
Madison Police Detective Kyle Graham says they believe they have that person after arresting a 45-year-old man in Granite City.
It's just completely unjust. It's heinous.
He can't get into details until charges are filed, but says he believes the suspect poured a corrosive acid on 10-year-old Charlie because he was angry. And it was days before the dog was brought to police.
Look, we don't want those types of people walking around.
White says Charlie's got a 50-50 chance of survival, but they've worked with worse chances. Late last year when they rescued a starving, flea-ridden Belle.
She was given a 10% chance of survival,
And she pulled through.
and she is 70 pounds now, living the life, beautiful girl.
So with a passion for beating the odds, their hope is for Charlie, with a little help from his angels,
We spend some time every day holding him and letting him know we're there for him.
will be just fine. And one day, we'll have the pictures to show for it. Detective Graham says the man they have in custody is not Charlie's owner, but there were other people around when this happened, including the owner, who did not immediately get medical help for Charlie, which he says is illegal in Illinois. So it's possible there could be more people charged. He expects charges tomorrow afternoon for the man they have in custody now.
All right, that video finished then? Okay. So, we will definitely share that video's been shared. We have Pound Pets is a great local rescue organization based out of Granite City. They have taken on the care of Charlie as well as all the medical expenses. So we want to share that out there to everybody so that if anybody wants to donate to that cause to help that little dude get the healing he needs, that you can do that. Other than that, we've had a pretty full show today. Once again, thanks to Wade, thanks to Todd for calling in. Papa Bear, as always, you are the man. You're kicking butt over there. Until next week, kids, this is Kirk Schilling, and we are signing off from the extravaganza. Have a great day. Be safe out there in the weather. We'll see you next week. Peace.